Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Venture with Joe and Cody. Over there is Cody Wilhelm with Residential Mortgage. I am Joe Skipper
Hello.
with Skipper Realty Group with eXp Realty. And I just say that right now, something that maybe we should talk about, it's current, is Oregon passed a law, and I need to find out more about this. I'm talking about this without even thinking. They passed a law that I
That's
think
okay.
that they're limiting the names of real estate groups, like Skipper Realty Group, like those sort of
Really?
realty group names. I don't know anything about it, so bear with me here. But I think the purpose was to, I guess people are confused as to what, are you under a brokerage or are you your own
Yeah,
team, or, the confusion of who is who. And so it
sure.
used to be that, if you had your team, then you had to make it visible to be like, I'm with EXP, for example. So it's Skipper Realty Group, EXP, you got the logos, the multiple logos, all that sort of stuff. I think Oregon just passed a law that basically says that those are either limited or not allowed anymore. So I need to look into that.
Really? Wow.
Like, I
You
think
are
that
illegal right now.
I don't think it's illegal yet. I think it's in the beginning of the year, I think. But I think that Oregon is trying to figure out how to kind of I
Yeah.
think the bill went into effect, and I think in the next session they're trying to address that particular part of the law that will kind of help us. But I was like, dude,
Yeah.
I don't want to have to. Can
Yeah,
you
you've already
imagine
got
like
everything.
rebranding everything? Everything?
No.
Like
Well,
look at
and
like Skipper Realty Group there,
yeah,
like everything. You're
it's
so
so what I don't understand. I understand the confusion, right? Because I think until you start to understand the industry and how
yeah.
it works,
Oh, for sure.
you're thinking like, "Oh, this person owns their own real estate company because their company name
For
is
sure.
Skipper Realty Group."
Yeah.
But why is that? What I don't understand is why would that be a problem?
I know. I know.
Because the big company is not getting their recognition?
I have no
Because the
idea.
confusion of it, like if you want to work with somebody, maybe it seems like false advertising. I don't know, but it doesn't make sense on why you would regulate that because it has no
Yeah.
impact. But I don't know.
I'm gonna say this, and I probably have to preface this by saying this is my own opinion, not the opinion of EXP or anyone else.
Sure.
Um, but I'm with you. I think it's stupid. I think
Yeah.
that if I'm the average consumer, do I care for one if Joe Skipper has his own brokerage or if he's under Keller Williams or EXP
Right.
or Cascade Sotheby's or whatever? Who cares?
Sure.
I think this is part, and someone correct me if I'm wrong. If you're here listening to this and you have an opinion that that you think is right, I think it's an antiquated thing. I
Hmm.
think it's one of those antiquated things that I think in the real estate industry, for sure, we are so slow at reacting to real life. I remember when I first joined social media, there was this big thing that, like, if you post a video or anything, you have to get the video and the post approved through your principal broker before you post it. Because
Oh
they
yeah.
have to make sure it's in compliance with the, blah, 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 and blah, blah. And now it's over. But it was like real estate was so slow to pick up on the fact that you can't do that. Like if you're posting regularly, I cannot wait for my principal broker to say, oh, you're good to go with this and it meets all the standards. I'm not saying to violate the standards, but this reminds me of that like
Huh.
somebody very confused. I don't know. I would love to meet the person that was confused and actually
Right.
argued the fact that they're upset about this, because I'd love to see that their personality is. But
Uh-huh.
they're like, I did not know Skipper Realty Group was with EXP, and it bothered me so much that I need to go to my legislator to tell them
Right.
that it bothered me so much that I was unaware that they were part of this. I just don't. I think this is such an antiquated thing, and I think this happens with every large company. It's like there's such a slow ball rolling that
Hmm.
time, like things are flying by them, and they're like we don't know
Right.
what to do with this. And I think this is just, from what I'm learning now, it's just a stupid thing. Like, why are
It's
we caring? Why?
I don't know
Right.
either. I mean, I just can't see. I mean, all you have to do is if you're not sure, you just ask the question. Like,
And
"Hey,
and why would I
are
care? Like,
you?"
I honestly have never, when I bought and sold
Yeah,
houses before as a real estate agent, I could care less. I honestly could care less who you're part of, Cody. Like,
sure.
it could be Cody Wilhelm with Cody Wilhelm Loans. It does
Yeah,
not matter to me. So there's got to
right.
be something. I'm hopeful that this world is sane enough there has to be some reason why people are like, you know, you have to have the brokerage. So if you know it and you know that reason, please comment below so Cody and I can
Yes.
get rectified. I'm open-minded enough to hear if it's like, if there's
Yeah.
something that needs to be done, if they're like, this is why, and it makes sense, totally fine with it. But
Sure. I mean, I could see it more on the mortgage side, because say you had a bad experience with this company
yeah,
and you're like, I'll never work with them again, and then
for
you
sure.
find out that this person works for that company but their name was disguised. And
Yeah.
but it's like, from a real estate side, to me it is so much more of an individual. It's not as if like EXP as a company, you're getting this specific service from the company and dealing with them on an ongoing basis. At least with your mortgage, it's like you have to make your payment to them. You have to call
For
customer
sure. You're
service. Like, you're
committed to
tied to
that.
them.
Yeah, you're committed to them. Yep.
So I could see it a little more from that side, but from the real estate side, I don't know.
It's silly.
I'd
Anyways,
be curious to learn.
the thing is, I'll probably have to, I don't know. Comment below if you have an idea. I think I'd probably go SRG, right? And just not tell them what it
Yeah.
means.
SRG
Yeah.
EXP.
Yeah. SRG, EXP. It's like the alphabet that I can get.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's not what we were going to talk about. But it's, as I was saying it, I was like, I forgot about that. And so that
Yeah.
will have to be addressed.
Well, that kind of plays into what we were going to talk about, though.
True. A little bit of
The
AI. We're
future.
going to talk about the future.
Yeah.
The future of real estate and AI. Like, it's a really probably hot topic in your community, but super hot topic in the real estate community. We just got done. I didn't go to it, but EXP just had their conference in Florida, and a large portion of that is talking about AI, how to use it, how to utilize it, how to make the best of it, and how the industry is changing to it. Start us off, Cody. What do you see with?
Yeah.
I know what's happening in the real estate world, but what's going on in the lending world with AI? How are you guys using it? What's the deal with it?
Yeah. So from a actual loan part process of things, it really hasn't created much of an impact yet. And maybe it has on some of what they're building out and what they're able to integrate into software and stuff. From a practical standpoint, loan officer standpoint, it's really kind of helping you with maybe looking up guidelines where it's easier, right? Rather, you do your normal go to the guidelines that are online and you scroll and you search through there. I mean, I use ChatGPT for looking up guidelines, because the thing that I love about it is it will send you the link, right? It's like, here's my question, here's what I want to deep dive into, and it'll send you the link, which is the link for Fannie Mae's guidelines on that specific topic. So just cuts down my search time. I'm using the same resource, but it's just cutting down on the search time. AI can help with answering a lot of questions because it's tied into there. It can help you structure emails. The thing that it can't help you with is walking through real life scenarios on what is, conversations.
Yeah,
It's just like anything. It's computer related. It's awesome. It's convenient. But if you're not the type of person that needs hand holding and explaining and walking through, and like a real person, that, there's always that little bit of, when you look something up and you get it online, there's always like, is this true? It is online, but how old is this information?
yeah.
Who submitted this information? Because, all it's doing is scrubbing the internet for it. So from a loan officer standpoint, business standpoint, I can see how I'm sure down the road they're gonna probably eliminate positions from it. The loan officer position, I don't know how much that will be impacted. I'm sure it will be, but to an extent that you just don't need them anymore. I don't know. I guess that's TBD, but right now it seems more of like a resource than it does a
replacement.
A replacement. And again, that could be, so we're still so early on in this journey. I could, next year I could be telling you that I'm just hoping to have a job instead of.
You like really need this podcast to go, because we
exactly
just with the podcast.
Yeah. Please, people,
subscribe, please.
Right.
The sponsorship money.
Exactly. What are you seeing though?
Similar. It is interesting. I'm not naive enough to think that we couldn't be replaced, like complete. Like, but I don't know. It's a really hard battle because I do think this is, they've talked about this as being like the internet, or, we had talked previously about farming and like how you got tractors and how, came from like a manual labor to now tractors. And so it is a big move. I don't think this is just a fad. I don't think this is just something stupid. I think it is going to be the future of every position and every job in society at a certain level. I think humans have to be involved at some point. I
Sure.
guess I don't know. What we're kind of focusing on is using AI, especially EXP, who's an online brokerage. So it's kind of we're on like the forefront of this stuff anyways, being an online brokerage. We got rid of the brick and mortar long before
Hmm.
anyone else has gotten rid of brick and mortar buildings and all that sort of stuff. So I'm thankful that I'm with this brokerage that kind of already is like, we're moving on with it. So we use it a lot for as an asset to each business to help with, like you said, the background work and things like that. Contractually, I think that, like, I think my initial hesitations is contracts, negotiations, those sort of things, like, can't be done
Hmm.
by AI. Having said that, I'm not stupid enough to think that maybe AI will get so good that they can review a contract for
Hmm.
accuracy, for legality wise, and it can be trusted to be legal. Because right now, you throw any piece of paper into ChatGPT, it can analyze it, but there's
Hmm.
mistakes all over the board.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I'm on a little bit of a rant, but I don't know. Like right now, our businesses are adapting to it, and I think businesses that in real estate agents that are like, no, I'm not doing AI. It's just too much for me, or it's overwhelming. They're going to
Yeah.
fail in the next 5 to 10 years, guaranteed. They
Hmm.
will fail. The people that are adapting with AI and using it to better their business and marketing and background or back end work, so that you are more front facing, you're more available, you're more, that will make those agents really good. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting to think, like, because if I nitpicked everything of your lending and stuff, I could be like, okay, well, if AI was able to, if AI was capable to do X, it could do it. But I think there are
Right.
some unique things. The negotiations, for one, on our side, is like,
Hmm.
yeah, they could suggest to someone, like, you type this in, hey, this is a contract, this is what we saw, this is the work that needs to be done on the house after inspection. What do you think? And it could probably
Hmm.
pop out some suggestions. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, and I think it's tough because to me, you have, your different generations where I know we've talked about where we land as 40-year-old price or age range.
Yeah,
We're like that beginning of the older generation, I guess you could say, that's used and adapted to technology. And
yeah,
our parents' generation is a little more like, no, I want the in person. I want
for
the
sure,
to
for sure.
still meet with people, shake their hands, look them in the face. Our generation is kind of like that in between. I think we'd prefer it, but we're still okay with technology. So I think what'll be interesting is like our kids' generation, because growing up with all of this,
For sure.
are they more used to and okay with just technology running everything
Yeah,
and not feeling the need for, and maybe not having some of the personal skills that requires? So
for sure.
I think for our, next handful of years, I think it's still going to be that learning phase, but ultimately, if you really break it down, you're buying the most expensive thing you'll probably ever buy,
Yeah,
unless you just become really wealthy, then you might have other things. But like the average person, it is the most expensive. It's the most money you're going to spend, and it's the largest purchase you're going to finance. So to me, I feel like there's a lot of things you can do to have AI help you and negotiate things and kind of like give you an idea. But when it really comes down to it, I'm sure there will be people that will just be fine with it. But I think the majority are going to be like, I still think I want to make sure that we're doing this the right way
yeah,
by
yeah,
talking to a human and having a human help us. Then,
for sure.
I feel good that the computer's telling us, but also in that, where becomes the liability of
Of an
AI,
AI like
right?
making a
Like if you,
purchase.
yeah,
So if
like it,
something, yeah, walks you through, some computer walks you through a purchase and something in the end went wrong,
right.
whose liability is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you could argue both sides. I think you're right. Like, I think the younger generation may, in fact, by the time we're 70 or whatever, they may be
Yeah.
like, yeah, why do you guys even think that AI couldn't do this? Like,
Yeah.
and real estate agents are maybe monitoring deals. They're just more of like a monitoring management, like kind of keeping things in order. Maybe the same with
Sure.
lawyers and things like that, that like a lot of the legality issues could be kind of back end. And then that agent is kind
Yeah.
of more of just like a face to kind of help things go, or represents that liability, or does, to make sure the liability. Maybe same with like I was thinking with your industry, and maybe this is stupid, but like underwriting and things. It's like maybe AI can get sophisticated enough to kind of do those final checks just as a
Yeah.
yep, we're good. We don't need someone actually looking at it. But then I'd say again, it's a loan that the lender is not,
Yes.
maybe they don't want to trust the AI to be like, that they did something wrong. So yeah, it's going
Yeah.
to be an interesting thing. I think the biggest thing that I take away from this, and maybe you do as well, is I need to make more of a proactive AI intensive deep dive. I think
Hmm.
ChatGPT is great, but I think there's a lot more out there that I'm
Yeah.
like we get into that like, oh, ChatGPT, and then probably a 20-year-old's like, have you not used XYZ? Like they're
ChatGPT is
way
so
better.
old.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
way better. So I think
Yeah.
like I need to tap into more of that training in AI to really stay up to trends because it's changing so fast. And for anyone in our industry at our age, it's very easy to be like, I'm just blinders on. I'm doing
Yeah.
really well right now. This is how I'm going to stay. And you may be comfortable like that for 5 to 10 years, maybe. But
Right.
if you just like let it go to the wayside, even if you do believe in it, I do think that AI will kick you right in the pants in about 10 years. If you're like, oh, I just use ChatGPT to write my listing descriptions. Like,
Right.
it's like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. No, we can tell. We can tell
yeah,
you're still
we can
using
tell that's the only
ChatGPT.
reason that, yeah, that I use ChatGPT is like,
Yeah.
so
Grandpa
yeah, I
Joe
think,
over here.
so I think even now I'm missing it because even when I say ChatGPT, I'm like waiting for my son who's 13 to be like,
Yeah.
use ChatGPT, what a wizard.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. You,
so
you think you're so cool.
yeah, I know. And so I do think it's going to require a very proactive. This is a unique time in our industry, in any industry. I bet lawyers, business people are all probably doing the same thing. And is like,
Yeah.
how do we adapt to this? Because this is like that. To me, it's like the internet. Boom. Like, it's not just like, oh, we just got this new contracts or we got this new law that came into place. I think it's a dynamic shift of a world. Like,
Yeah.
the internet changed the world and how we did things, and I think AI is going to change the world and how we do things. And
Hmm.
so I think I'm trying to just stay up to date and stay focused on kind of being in the know because, as you know, with social media and all that stuff, it's like I can already tell that I'm like, yeah, I don't need to, you know. I don't
Uh-huh.
need this. I don't need this newest trend thing, or I don't need this
Yeah.
newest, the phone. I got a new phone, and we've talked about this. Is like, I used to
Uh-huh.
get a new iPhone every year. Like I didn't care if I needed it, if I wanted, and
You
now
were
I'm like,
getting that new
well,
one.
my phone's good for a few years. My phone, it
Right.
works just fine, and it's just like my parents makes the phone
Yep.
calls. Like that's all I need
Yeah.
to do.
It does what I ask it.
Yes, and I just am like, you have to fight that. You probably are the same. Like you have
Yeah.
to fight that like comfort level of just like I like my chat GPT and where I search
Right.
things and what I do with things, and it really you have to like proactively go at that AI. I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
just saying roundabout that for me, and I'm talking just out loud or thinking out loud is like, yeah, my goal is to just continue to stay up front with AI, no matter what. Try a new thing that comes out, and try this
Hmm.
new AI program that comes out for a few months, just like I did with ChatGPT.
Right.
Like, oh, let's just try this ChatGPT. It's this new thing, and I'm
Huh.
sure there's new stuff coming out
Oh
left
yeah.
and right. But
I mean, I see stuff all the time that's essentially talking about what we're just talking about right now. It's like you're only using Chat GPT. Well, here's
yeah,
what you need to be using, and it lists
for
off
sure.
10 other companies or programs that you could be using for specific needs. And I think that's where it really starts to expand is like Chat GPT is great for this. But if you want to do this, you need to go over to this one. And if you want to go here, whatever
Yep.
you're looking to do, there's a specific AI for that, not just in general, like which does get a little overwhelming if you're just trying to kind of stay current with things and you're going, man, I got to learn this thing
Yeah.
now and I got to learn
Yeah.
this one and do I even use them? But I think going back really quick because as we've been talking, I'm kind of like processing a little bit more
Yeah.
on what I think. I think from the mortgage side, I can see the beginning of things where it's automation on documents. And so it might slowly be phasing the operations side of, this specific individual that is no longer really needed because or maybe it's one assistant type person
Yeah.
for a whole office as opposed to one for every couple
For
loan
sure.
officers. So it's like I could see the automation side of it starting to really not eliminate positions as a whole, but just eliminate the need for so many of those. Because now, if this file is all put together like this and an underwriter only needs, you know, 20 minutes as opposed to an hour or 2 hours or
Yeah,
whatever it is, they can get through that much more, which means the company only needs X amount of underwriters or assistants.
for
But
sure, for sure.
I could see that because I think you are still going to run into the need for the human review, the human
Yeah.
eye.
But I think even
But
like an expert, an expert in the real estate industry AI, because
mhm,
not everyone can be in it. Like there will be people that use AI for the general Joe Schmuck, everyday use. But I think being the real estate agent that can articulate that I utilize AI in my business to make your life easier because
mhm,
I don't want as a consumer even if they say AI is taking over attorneys, like whatever.
right.
I don't need I can't study what AI is better for my attorney issues or needs. Like you're almost going to be like the holder of the AI of that specific need, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like, and I'm just maybe imagining stuff. But like if I need to buy a house and there's like 18 AI programs that are saying that we can get you to, these steps, or, we can get you up to
Uh-huh.
this point, then you need an agent, then you don't need an agent, that sort of stuff. I,
Right.
I don't I don't think many people, just like in the mortgage world, no one's staying up to date in the mortgage industry until they need a home.
Yes.
And
Agreed.
so even if AI is helping automate a lot of things, I just don't see people being like, yeah, I'm just going to take care of this house sale on my own. I buy and
Right.
sell a house every 7 years. AI is developing so fast, like to be like, oh yeah, that's totally fine. I'm just going to
Yeah.
get on the chat GPT of real estate and make
Uh-huh.
this offer and do this thing. It'll be maybe agents and lenders are kind of the holders of the AI that does the work,
Mhm.
and can kind of help you through
Totally.
it or whatever. I don't know. It's going to change, but I'm just, thinking out loud. I think being a specialist in AI in your field is going to be extremely helpful. That
Yeah.
the top programs, the top things that do that. When Zillow came out and Redfin came out, you kind of understand how they work and can help people explain, because Zillow has been
Mhm.
saying it forever that they were going to take away, that they were going to
Yeah.
take over real estate agents, and they haven't, because it's limited.
Mhm.
You can't fully do it, and no
Yeah.
one's fully bought into it. So even young clients I have they use Zillow for, a ton of stuff, but they're not comfortable going with Zillow
Right.
to purchase a
Yes.
home and to get a loan.
It's more
So,
of a resource than it is
yeah,
an
yeah,
actual like tool.
yeah,
It kind of reminds me of, and I could see, some form of this when YouTube first came out and it was more entertainment based. And then it slowly has kind of turned into just a little bit of everything. But I got to imagine that there were a lot of businesses that were impacted in the sense that you start getting people that are putting out how to videos
yeah,
on, how to fix your plumbing, how to
for
do this,
sure,
whatever it is. And you're going to have people that are more of the DIY type person
for
that's
sure.
like, perfect, this is what I need. Now I don't need to call somebody
Now
to
I don't
fix
need to
it.
do it. Yep.
And what did those businesses do? Or some of those people, they started to capitalize on it and
For
go,
sure.
I'm going to make videos on how to teach people how to do the work that I'm
Yep.
supposed to be getting paid to do.
Which seems
And now
counterintuitive. Yeah.
yes, and now it's building up my channel, and now I'm actually making revenue from this, and I'm like a YouTube star on how to tile a bathroom.
For
And it's
sure.
like I can see it kind of going a similar direction where it's probably pulled a lot of business out of there, but then a lot of those smarter businesses said, all right, well, this institution, this whole YouTube thing is taking my business. Maybe let's invest in YouTube.
Yeah.
So I think the AI thing might be a similar thing where it's just, okay, initially you can start to see it removing parts of the business, but okay, now how can I use this to ultimately make it better overall? I don't know, but it's kind of where it takes my thought process to like, that had to have been a big shift for a ton of industries because you have some people that are just like myself. I am a DIY type person. Like it pains me to pay somebody
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
work. So if I can do it and figure out how to do it, great.
Yeah.
But I know that there's lots of people that are like, I don't even want to try to swing a hammer. So I leave it up to the pros, right? So you're going to still have those clients and those people that are, in my mind, going, I don't, sure, Chat GPT or this AI model can lay out what all I need to do to list my house, but that I still have to go through the actions of
of doing
reaching
it.
out and
Yeah,
getting this and doing
for
this
sure.
and doing that. And I don't want to do that. It's cool to have the information, but I want somebody else to do it. I'll just pay them to do it and it's taken care of. And I know that I'm good to go.
Yeah. Well, you had mentioned all the DIY stuff on YouTube, and it's like we're on YouTube doing this podcast,
Yeah.
and part of it is to put out good content for people to learn the industry and learn that sort of thing. We're doing the
Hmm.
how-to videos online, but we realized, you and I did, is like this is the future of our industry. That
Hmm.
we can ignore it and probably do fine, and we don't need to be on social media. We can kind of go the traditional route of marketing and showing our expertise to whoever wants to listen. We saw the same thing as like you have to
Hmm.
be the person that when people think of real estate and think of lending and want an expert, how are you going to show it? And YouTube and social media is the only way to do it at this point. And so,
Hmm.
and for everyone, you're exactly right. I think for every one of you that's looking at how to tile a bathroom, it's not just like teaching them how to tile a bathroom. It's showing them you're an expert at it. So if I'm looking
Hmm.
how to tile a bathroom, Joe Schmuck, and I'm like, I can't tile a bathroom. Let me just see what it's like. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, oh, this guy's in Oregon. He's an expert.
Uh-huh.
He's on YouTube. He's got all this stuff. I'm going with him because he's proactively showing me how to do it at the risk of, like you said, potentially losing some business because some
Hmm.
people will be like, I can do this myself. But I think there's a vast majority, especially in that DIY industry, that would be like, I can't do this. And
Yes.
now I found an expert.
Uh-huh.
And
Or I
those
started to
YouTube
do
videos,
this.
when you search, people are searching YouTube, TikTok, all that stuff for
Hmm.
plumbers in Oregon. And if you're
Right.
in there doing DIY stuff, that's where younger generations are looking now. They're not necessarily going to Google to say real estate agent Oregon. They're looking real estate agent Oregon in TikTok. And if you're the one that's up there doing the DIYs or doing the how-to videos, that's
Yeah.
kind of I agree with you. I think that that's where our industry has been headed and maybe where it's going. I
Hmm.
think people will be able to say, hey, AI will do the majority of stuff. I can do it myself, just like a for sale by owner, just like all that stuff. They don't necessarily need us. But I think the
Hmm.
vast majority of people see the videos, watch the videos on how to buy a home, and are like, this agent seems to know what he's doing. I'll just go with them,
Right.
because most
Yeah.
people have a life. They have other stuff to do. They can't, I'm not going to build a deck, replace tile in my home, repair my roof, all this,
Yeah.
re-landscape the yard. We just don't have the time in the day, even if we have the expertise to do it. So we pay for
Yes.
a convenience of
Hmm.
someone else doing it for us.
Yep.
And I think
Absolutely.
that's where we are. Ultimately, you're a convenience, and that's people pay for the convenience. And I don't think that's wrong. Like I can
Mm-mm.
learn how to build new cabinets. Like I can buy all the equipment and replace my kitchen cabinets myself.
Yeah.
But do I want to?
Do you?
No. Do I want to pay that money?
Right.
No. Like,
Yeah.
do I want to make those mistakes? No. So, yeah, I
Right.
think that's a good point though. Bringing up the YouTube videos is like that's why we're in it. Like, not the only
Hmm.
reason why we're in it, but we want to show that we're the experts in the industry so that people have a resource to ask questions and whatever. And ultimately, if they can't do it themselves or don't feel comfortable doing it themselves, they know a personality and they know a person that they can be like, okay, I'll call them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like we both had people from our stuff call because they know us. Like from
Hmm.
we don't know them, but they know us from
Right.
watching videos, learning our personalities, liking our personalities, and some probably don't use us because of the same thing. But I think
Yeah.
there
They're
are
like that one guy's voice is really
yeah, just
annoying.
annoying. It's that cold. Does he have a cold? Like
Yeah.
it's like
No,
is
this
it
is just
cold
all.
voice?
This is my
No, it's
voice all
just
the
me,
time.
just nasally.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think AI is going to. It is a big boom. I think it's the internet.
Hmm.
It's the new internet, like in that sense. And I think adapting as agents and lenders to that is only going to benefit us. But I don't think at this point, at least in the short term, it's just going to be like, where did they go? Remember when we used a real estate
Right.
agent and a lender?
Yeah.
I don't think so, but I think staying on top of it as in our industry, if you're listening and you're in our industry, by ignoring it, it's not going to help you in any way.
Hmm. Yeah.
Any final thoughts, Cody?
No, I like the internet analogy though, because I can see that, you look at our parents when the internet came out, were probably about our age. And it's like the adapting of, oh, okay, cool, that's a really neat little thing. And then not realizing that in 20, 30 years, that's going to run everything, or
That is
40
life.
years,
Yeah.
whatever. And so it'll be interesting to see from our side of it, like being the age that we're at, watching it kind of develop in front of us. We might be required or wanting to use it more for what we do for work, as opposed to somebody that just doesn't need to. If I
For
didn't need
sure.
to do it for work or anything, I wouldn't have any desire to go
Yeah.
figure out all the AI stuff. But being more invested in it, it'll be interesting to look over the next 10, 15
know.
years of like, wow, that was no joke. Like that really did kind of take over
sure.
and automate a lot of stuff. And, you know, I don't know. It'll be interesting because I think, you know, as we watch it develop, you don't see the big experiment with it
Yeah.
until you really get a chance to step back.
To
But
step back and look at it.
we're
Yeah, it'll
right
be
in the middle of it.
It'll be interesting on the political side and the legality side of you'll see
Oh yeah.
probably a heavy investment in lobbying firms that are going to want restrictions on it.
Yeah.
Lawyers, real estate
Huh?
agents, like, you know, there's going to be people that are like, we need to save our industry. And so
Mm-hmm.
there are going to be a lot of lobbying to be like, let's restrict this for our industry and things. So you're going to see
Yeah.
that political side of things to in order to save the industry.
Sure.
Because it ultimately the internet's the same thing. It is a wild, wild west, and same with AI if you kind of let it
Mm-hmm.
get out of control.
Well,
So
and
it's just gonna be an interesting thing, I think,
yeah, I think the other
politically.
part too is depending on what all industries kind of take it over, you still have the fact that it is an internet based thing, which to me can still be hacked, which can be manipulated. So it's like at some point, yeah, there's going to have to be some type of parameters for, especially once it does get up into say that, you know, really legal side of
Yeah,
businesses, because at some point that's going to be the next
for sure.
threat is the AI manipulation, and somebody's found a way to go in and make a little tweak to this, and I don't
For
know,
sure.
but who knows?
Yeah, well, I think we'll stay on the forefront of it, see what happens. But yeah, maybe I'll just work for your construction company if we
Yeah.
get
Worst
beat out.
case, we'll start something up, we'll fire it up, and
Yeah. We'll do like a funny podcast on or funny how-to videos, you know, like
yeah,
the average Joe how-to, you know.
yeah, we can make
And
what
you
we
can
can
just
make what
judge me when I like when I do. You're like, that's wrong. Like you have like you're kind of like sports casting what I'm doing, and you're like, watch him mess this up, and watch
yeah.
this like watch how this is going to
Okay,
affect the
here he
entire
goes.
project because he thinks this little thing in point A is gonna, you know. I
Uh-huh.
always get that way when I build something.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like I mess up a slight thing at the second step. And then at
Uh-huh.
35, you don't know until step 35 that you're like, oh,
Yes.
you messed up at 2. So you got to go back. I'm like,
Yeah. I'm so glad I just spent the last 5
I
hours
know.
doing this to now
I
have to
know.
redo it all.
Maybe
Yep.
AI could like evaluate that stuff. That would be a good one. They can like
Yeah.
monitor you and be like, nope, you didn't do it all. Didn't do it all.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
anyways,
let's do it. It sounds like we got a little side hustle.
nice. Okay, man. Well, until next time, it was good
Yes.
chatting with you.
You as well.
Okay,
Keep
we'll see you
rocking
later.
that Chat GPT.
Yes, old folks, the old chat
That's right.
GPT. Okay, we'll talk soon, man.
All right. See ya.
Yeah.